I'm Gene Grant here in the New Mexico PBS studios with this week's Line Opinion panelists. It's Thursday and Governor Susana Martinez has one more day to sign or veto bills passed by the legislature. Antoinette, a lot of bills sort of burbling out there. Were there a couple that you've been following that you're hopeful of signing, or maybe one hopeful of veto? You never know.
Well, I expected her to sign the gun transfer bill immediately because it's simply implementing existing law and providing a process for people to turn in their weapons when they have a restraining order against them for domestic violence. And so I thought she'd been such a champion of preventing and stopping domestic violence. I thought she'd sign it immediately.
Are you worried that it hasn't been signed? Are you worried that it won't be signed since it wasn't signed right away?
Well, it's getting close.
Okay.
I hope that it's not a pocket veto. I hope she signs it.
Touch on that bill for a quick sec. We talked about that here at the table, and I think that caught a lot of people by surprise. That in other states this is starting to happen as well, that when one, meaning a man, is proven to be, having some problems in his household that clearly mean he shouldn't have a gun in the household, that the gun should go. A lot of people are having a problem with this, though.
And that's been federal law since 1996, or 1995, 96. And it's surprising to me. I'm on the intimate partner death review team, so we review all of these cases, and the number one weapon is a gun. It's so clear if you have somebody that has a gun in the house and there's domestic violence, that the likelihood of a death, either one of them, is really, really high.
Wow.
And so New Mexico hasn't implemented the federal law with a process for turning over the transferring the gun upon the restraining order. So this would implement something that's already on the federal books.
That's a good point.
So I'm really hoping she signs it.
On that one. Tom, what are you looking at out there for the governor to either veto or not veto for you? Anything in particular?
Well, I think that the governor is going to be looking at possibly getting a new tailor, because I think she's going to be able to pocket veto at least more than 100 bills.
Wow.
Because there's either that or they have all these messages that are backed up right now. The bills that I was hopeful that would pass this session never actually made it to her office. Right. Whether it be daylight savings or one of the minimum wages, but either way, I think that there's a lot of stuff that potentially is going to get pocket vetoed. The other one was the Representative Harper's tax bill. I thought that was one of those that needed to get there. But I think that budget bill gets passed, and then the tax increases do not. Some of the tax reform gets passed, and then forces everybody into a corner. What concerns me though is, and it always has, is that these behind the scene conversations, to have a budget deal worked out before you call everybody there. Well, that bypasses the whole public process, and I think it reinforces the bad position that New Mexico finds itself in.
Are you surprised, Janice, that it looks like we're headed towards a special? Does that not surprise you? Or if we do, what's going to be dealt with in that special? Are we going to lord all kinds of other things like we did last time?
I am hearing, the governor's made very clear that she wants to do the budget in a special session. As a former legislator, I just want to know, why didn't we do it during the session? Because to me, the numbers seem to be there. But I also am hearing, and the proof will be in the pudding, that the death penalty will be on the table. Which is very disheartening to me, because the one thing that I do think a special session is worthy of is the tax reform. Jason Harper's bill was by far the best that we have seen. Those of us who've been looking at taxes for 10 years will tell you exactly the same thing that Jason Harper put in his bill, is that you have got to watch the details, and you can't just do this a little bit at a time. You're going to have to do the whole thing. So that is absolutely worthy of a special session. But if we're talking about, we don't want to raise taxes, well, I will just throw back out. Load shifting is a tax increase, and when you push it off into the counties and municipalities, but I have a bill
in Bernalillo County. That
I am hopeful on, and that is the consolidation of elections. Very needed. I hope that she signs it. And to her credit, when she says that the legislature was also wasting time, so I did a little count of memorials that celebrated a single day. Just a single day. And there were 113 of them, most of them duplicated in both chambers.
Wow.
to a day, and there is a process to do this. If you want a legislative governmental proclamation, all you have to do is apply for it. We don't have to do this in the session.
That's right. Isn't that something? I hear you. Laura, I'm curious what you think about the anti-discrimination bill that the governor vetoed a few days ago. What was your thought on that? She said it would be ineffective without seeing how it would be implemented, I guess.
Right. Well,
How
I
does
think
one
that was
know
disappointing. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that we need to address discrimination issues in the state everywhere. I mean, around the country right now. But it was disappointing to see that one got vetoed. But I think there's a lot of bills out there also that I'd like to see her sign. One in particular that I can think of is the solar. There's several solar bills out there, but there's one about consumer protection. And just disclosure, I was an expert for this bill, so I don't want to pretend like I'm not invested in it.
Sure.
But I was an expert for this particular bill, and it's about consumer protection for solar owners, essentially just requiring that any solar company fully disclose everything that's part of the transaction. Such a complicated transaction, very popular, something that a lot of people want in the state.
Sure.
And this just ensures that consumers get the full information of everything that they're signing on to when they get such a huge equipment purchase, or in some cases a lease over 20, 30 years.
Which is becoming more popular,
So that's an
sure.
important one, so we'll see if that one actually gets signed.
Okay. Overall, Tom, let's go back to the idea of the special and what could or could not be done in that. I'm appreciating Janice's point about taxes. And I've always felt like if we're going to really have tax reform here, we're going to have a special dedicated to just that and really lean into it over some course of weeks and months. I don't understand how people are supposed to feel like these folks are working hard if the governor is saying, we'll have this all locked and get it done in an hour, basically, before we do this. I just don't see how we get our voices in that process. How do we participate if this is going to be a closed door deal?
Yeah, Twitter. I mean, it's really, to say that you're going to address tax reform in like a one-day session is just not realistic. I think the framework that Representative Harper has laid out is a good place to start from.
Right.
But you really, with all these behind-the-scenes discussions, you're really empowering the lobbyist.
Right.
And lobbying in general it's good because it provides people a voice who aren't able to be there, so they're able to be represented through a lobbyist. But really kind of blocking off and having these behind-the-doors discussions really kind of sequesters the whole conversation and leaves, I think, New Mexico's best interests,
Right.
On the side of the road.
Good way to put it.
Are you suggesting we're lacking transparency here?
There you go.
There you go.